I am Sarah Paige Chapman. I am a recent alum from Clemson University, and I am an artist. I like to paint. I mostly do oil paintings and drawing, but mostly these days I'm doing ceramics, which I love very much. And I just got a job at Hollow Earth Pottery. So I've been interested in making art since I was a little kid. I often find myself dipping my hand into like several different pools at the same time. So like writing, which is an art form to me, or like writing poetry and stuff, or doing calligraphy even, and like messing around with handwriting and like different fonts. And then drawing is something I've always been interested in, as well as painting. And I also will like dabble in sewing. So I feel like I've always been searching for some way to kind of let my creative energy out. And ceramics has been a really good one for me because it's so tactile. And it's something that it feels like the possibilities are endless, and I could be throwing on the wheel where I'm making, something symmetrical and more functional. And then hand building kind of lends itself to more abstract pieces, which I really enjoy as well. So I get kind of the utilitarian part of creating, and then also the more emotional, like, what will I make today kind of feeling, where I can just kind of let loose and see what happens, which is where I really, which is really what I feel attached to. Doing art in school felt kind of limiting sometimes because it was so much about skill and so much about technique, or, just trying to get a good grade, like trying to make it right and up to par, I guess. And so now that I'm outside of school, I'm trying to kind of reverse that a little bit and try to get like kind of back into my body in a sense, where I'm just making something and I'm not thinking so critically about it, which has been a difficult thing and something that I didn't really realize was happening to me. Whereas I felt a little more afraid to play around with making art. I was more concerned, it was like going to be perfect. I wanted to make it perfect. I wanted to like do a good job, which there are so many benefits with that. Like, when thinking about craftsmanship, and I learned a lot of good things about that in school and different techniques that you can try out to achieve a certain goal. So, there's kind of give and take with like thinking about art critically in that sense and not. So that's been a journey I've been on for sure. One of my favorite pieces that I've ever made is this statue that I hand built out of terracotta clay, and it's like this big, and it's a sailor. I made it in school. It was a project. We were supposed to take something small and make it larger and try to get it to look as closely to the object as we could. And so I chose this little wooden sailor, and that was probably my favorite thing. I think I find a lot of inspiration through play and just, trying to have fun with it and seeing what comes out of just having fun. I guess I'm more inclined to think emotionally about what I'm doing and just in general. So I like to kind of, like when I'm drawing, my process there is, it can either be very like logical, where I'm like, okay, I'm going to draw this, and I like spend a lot of time like trying to get it perfect, or like trying to get it, to look very realistic, or like exactly how I want it to. But a lot of times I like to just sit down with a blank piece of paper and just like make marks on it, and then like something will come out of that, and then I'll be like, oh, this needs this here. Like I'll just like feel it. So I do like to kind of toe the line of like being more playful with my work, and then also like honing in on like a specific skill. So where I see my art going, I definitely want to sell my artwork, but it has been a struggle for me trying to balance, I guess, making things to sell and then just making things because I want to make them. Because a lot of the times I feel like if I'm just making things because I want to make them, it's not like, I'm not prolific enough to be putting these out, or like go to like having enough things to take to a market or something. I'm in the middle of setting up an Etsy shop, so I'll be able, to sell like one-time things on there. Like that'll feel good. and I can just post them as I go. So that's what that looks like. I definitely want to start marketing myself, but I don't want it to be asking too much of me right now because I have so many other things going on. So it's kind of hard. And I also don't want to get burnt out. I really want to keep the fun in what I'm doing, which is like a really tough battle right now for me. So yeah. To me, art is a form of self-expression, and being an artist to me means that you're just expressing yourself, which means sometimes I feel a sense of imposter syndrome because people ask me, are you an artist? And I don't want to be like, yes, I am, but like, I am an artist, but so is everybody to me, you know? But there is, like, you can say, like, there's skill involved. Like, there's skill involved in being an artist, and sometimes those skills come naturally to people, but also it just takes like working at them, you know? And it takes like doing art well, in a sense, to me, is just paying time and attention. People pay time and attention to the things they do in their daily life, and like whether that is, I don't know, I guess everything to me is art. So like the job you're doing, whether it's engineering or photography or what, like, you know, plumbing, everything is an art form because you're paying time and attention and you're expressing something, and that feels like art to me. You're creating life, if you will, is art to me.